Having your name in the mouth to just like it with you.
Pick up the phone. Everywhere I go.
With me here today, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here this evening speaking to you on this very subject that is dear to my heart. I don't know if it's by sheer coincidence or Mr. Agabi took advantage of information to put on the table what you might consider the old generation of electronic payment pioneers to what the new initiative of the central bank is doing. It might surprise you to learn that Deji here, who is being introduced to us as staff of GT Bank, was the pioneer of mobile payments. As we all knew it, he invented Flash Me Cash. And I think that that's really on the cutting edge. That's surprising. That's over 12 years now, isn't it? Yes. So the question is, where have we come from 12 years ago to the present? And it would be amazing to find out. And it would be inappropriate for me not to mention that while the chairman was introduced as the chairman of the Committee on Privatization, etc., he's also a leading telecommunications prior to this appointment, being a leader in the telecommunications sector. So I think the chairman was once elected as well for this occasion. And of course, we know the rest of the individuals at the table, what their role is. So everybody is well represented here. We see a lot of representation from the beginning. I, on the other hand, started with DG at the very early stages of the whole e-payments, what we call e-payments currently. And our challenge in 1996 as opposed to 2012 was how to get people to even begin the process of accepting electronic payments. And it would be surprising to learn that to a great extent that still hasn't happened. There's been millions of cards issued. There have been hundreds of thousands of point of sale terminals. The central bank pointed out to me earlier today that we've jumped from, in less than 1 year, 5,000 point of sale terminals to over 100,000 point of sale terminals. And so, there's been a push to put the technology out there. The question is, to what extent have we reached adaptation? So I will ask one simple question. How many of you here have used a phone to make a payment? You can just simply raise your hand. So I can just, no, apart from the three of us here. How many people here, please, if you don't mind, if we can just do that again. Okay, 4, 5. Internet banking. A few more in internet banking. Point of sale, ATM. Okay, how many of you have tried to use an ATM and the store said to you it's not working? That's the real challenge. Last Sunday, and it's not that these things don't work, it's not that it's not being put into place. Last Sunday, after church, I went to have lunch at one of the restaurants I always have lunch. And when I walked in, I picked out the food and I said, I'd like to pay with my card. And they said the point of sale terminal doesn't work. And I said, no problem. I'll go sit down and eat. And when I'm done, if the point of sale terminal is working, I will make the payment and go. But if it's not working, I'll leave without paying, because we now live in what's called cashless Lagos. And that's the whole thing that has had to happen from the standpoint of the central bank, is that as much as we've tried over the years to make the point that the future is electronic, we can't run away from it. Many of us are unwilling to bend over just a little bit and try it. I will let Deji talk to you more about the benefits of it. But the real thing that we find that has been happening from 1996 to 2011, let me say 2011, was that we as consumers were not making an effort to use the technology. I walk into places, they say, by the way, I should tell you, by the time I left, the terminal was working. And I paid with a card. So the technology works, it's available, it's the future, we can't get away from it. But I think what the central bank has done now, and we have all kinds of issues about what they've really done, and Emma will get back into that. But what the central bank has done now is to say to you, you really have no choice.
You want to talk about benefits, and the major benefit is convenience. Any kind of payment system you look at, is the convenience that matters. How long will it take you? How fast will it be? How cheap will it be? And where can I do it? And those are the issues where you see or you consider when you're making payments. And of course, cash is down there, and cash has all those converse benefits that you can think of. It's bulky, you have to be present and all that. And so it's a very good it's very good that CBN has come up with this cashless policy, and it's the time can be better. It can be better because we Nigerians we like to be forced to do things. So if it's left to us, like it's taken us 12 years to get to this point, the CBN said everybody must do this. Now we are seeing astronomical growth in terms of POS deployed, internet banking usage, and mobile money is coming up right now, and I think that's the killer app of WhatsApp really grow very fast in the next 1 or 2 years. And like I said before, it's all about convenience. And the way to drive it is the way CBN is doing it, and forcing it and saying, this is what we must do. And we in the banking sector, we've already seen, just in 3 months, we've seen the benefits, and we've seen the growth rate in terms of how people are actually migrating to the e-channels. And I can see it can only get better, and as it gets better, the economy gets better for it, and it grows with it as well, especially in small-scale businesses. They now become open, not just to people around their own locality, but they actually be open to the whole world, because they'll be able to receive payments from anybody, anywhere, and deliver goods and services to them. And that's the real benefit of going cashless in the way of e-banking.
Thank you very much, DJ and Alex. Just to round up, the main message I would like to leave here with people today, we have this bandwagon effect in Nigeria. When people don't try things just because they hear Mr. X say it is not working, they tend to repeat that, and the message just keeps going on. My advice is that you try these channels out. If you don't know how they work, you approach your bank. If you're a merchant or you run an organization, call your bank and ask them how can you migrate your processes to an electronic means channel of payment or running your transactions, so that you also join in reaping the benefits that this also has. However, it's also nice to also come with a different tact. At the table where I was sitting, I told them the main reason for doing this thing, because we've had several people complain, oh, we're being forced, it's fiat, why should the central bank just come up with this rule without really sensitizing people? Sensitization will not end, we'll keep doing that. But it'd be nice for you to know that ahead of this policy, the bank conducted a survey that showed that only 10% of people that walk through banks transacted any business above 150,000 naira. That's where that magic 150 came from. But what that means invariably is 90% of us are subsidizing what 10% of the people and their corporations are doing. The bullion vans that are moving their money are killing people on the streets. The COTs that we get charged from banks and the hidden charges, so-called hidden charges we hear about, are all in an effort, because the banks don't run charities. They're trying to write off the expense that they incur from doing all that. So if you understand that the CBN is trying to save this amount of money so that it will come to the hands of other people. To be nice, I'll have to throw maybe 1 or 2 more questions to
Pick up the phone.
Why was it necessary to license the providers of points of sales terminal? For me, from a pure technical standpoint, you have device, you have network, you have access. And that, to me, is a key to licensing suppliers of a PC in the IT world. You can have Dell, you can have HP, you can have even cloud systems. Or once you have a network interface card, or it comes built in, or you have an Ethernet port, you can connect to the Internet, or you can connect to part of the local area network. But I found out that from what I read in the press, that CBN had to license point of sales terminal providers. Why must they have the license? It's an access device. If once it is stamp approved by either CBN or NCC, why do providers have to be licensed?
That's my first concern.
I don't want to know what a central bank makes, because central bank in the first instance is an organization that does not believe in the rule of law. Because we don't control your budget. We said you should bring it, you don't bring it. But then maybe at the appropriate time we discuss that. But let me quickly put this. Because if you cannot control your budget, the way our people are being punished, it's not fair. Imagine somebody that made a payment of 500,000 and you are charging about 80,000 naira. And you are still going to charge your COT. You are charging your VAT. You are charging everything. But cumulatively is about 100,000. It means you have lost almost 20% of that money. Who checks that? Why are you giving that to? I'm saying this people we have taken up the CBN governor because our people have been maltreated. I am a politician. And that is where I take my daily bread. Because if they did not send me to the National Assembly, I will not have an opportunity of being a senator. So in the first instance, this is just opportunity to let the gathering know that presently the National Assembly is taking into account the sovereignty of our people. We have people outside there, the consultants that are compiling the pains of our people. And I know by the time we have 167 million Nigerians, Lagos controlling minimum of 20 million. Now with 100,000 in 3 months, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, I can tell us other. But what we need to tell you at this very point in time, at appropriate time, the appropriateness is about 1 or 2, 3 weeks. We will review, because there are a lot of people that have written petitions on this. Imagine Okada man that went to a petrol station and look at the numbers of Okada riders we have in Lagos State. Now went to buy fuel. The man will now to sell to them, but by the time the woman is remitting the money to the bank, he's being charged. Who takes the responsibility? And I can tell the first subsidy is not to cover that one for that petrol station. You can see the problem. And I'm telling you, as a politician, I will converse that our people, we do not add enough burden on them because they are already stretched. And we don't want untold hardship on them.
Pick up the phone.
Your name and I'm out to fuck it with you.
Pick up the phone. Go. Everywhere I go, it's another show, it's another party, it's another hole, and everywhere. Pick up the phone.
Your name and I'm out to fuck it with you.
Pick up the phone.
Austin Kwesi Okere, Group Managing Director of Computer Warehouse Group, Lagos, is a big player in the information technology sector of the Nigerian economy and indeed the West African coast. Okere started Computer Warehouse Limited, CWL, 2 decades ago, but the computer hardware vending company soon grew to become a group of 3 companies offering solutions in telecoms and software. CWL retains its primary task of delivering hardware solution, while the DCC Satellite and Networks Limited deploys networking and satellite-based communication links. The third of the tripled Expert Edge Software and System Limited is a software arm of the group and has recorded massive success with its indigenously developed solutions as well as the Finacle banking solutions, proprietary solutions of Infosys of India. Okere has a degree in computer science from the University of Lagos and an MBA from the Lagos Business School. He has nearly 2 decades industry experience covering system analysis, sales and marketing, and corporate management. Okere's successes are not accidental. They derive from clear-headed, far-sighted business strategies. Today, with 8 offices across Nigeria, 6 in Lagos, 1 each in Abuja and Port Harcourt, and the regional office and support center in Accra, Ghana and Uganda, Computer Warehouse Group is strategically positioned to continue to push the ICT frontier in the West African region. On June 8, 2011, Mr. Austin Kwesi Okere received a letter from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Legatum Center for Development and Entrepreneurship, part of which reads, "The remarkable success of CWG is a story that inspires entrepreneurs, academics, investors, and policymakers working in emerging countries. We are writing to ask if you would be interested in telling that story at the annual conference of the Legatum Center at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology." Okere grabbed the opportunity and made Nigeria and indeed Africa proud at a forum that has hosted 6 Nobel laureates, 4 heads of states, prominent scholars, and renowned innovators such as Sir Tim Berners-Lee, inventor of the World Wide Web. It to be recalled that the Columbia Business School published a case study on the Computer Warehouse Group in early 2008, which received sterling reviews from the Financial Times of London in the business education section. The comments of Professor Morello, director of the Eugene Lange Entrepreneurial Center at the CBS, perhaps best summarizes the overwhelming reception to the case study. I have used the case along with the video in both Tanzania and Kenya for audiences of entrepreneurs, faculty, and MBA students. They all find it very inspiring. The CWG story under the able and visionary leadership of Austin Okere typifies the trials, challenges, and triumph of entrepreneurs in the challenging but highly rewarding environment that characterizes sub-Saharan Africa. Austin Okere is Technology Africa ICT Personality of the Year.
On behalf of Technology Africa, I am delivering this to you, a certificate of award that says this to testify that Mr. Austin Okere been honored as ICT Personality of the Year for his contribution to the development of ICT in Nigeria this day, 20th of April, 2010. May God bless you.
Thank you so very much, sir. You have a seat.